Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So today we got an excellent show for you guys here. We're going to be talking about them damn Clippers today. We're going to talk about the Clippers because we haven't talked about them in a while, but now is the appropriate time to talk about them. I said that I will talk about the Clippers when they gave us all a reason to talk about them, and they're playing well and all of that. Kawhi Leonard is looking healthy, and this moment has arrived. So therefore, get the hell out the way and let me go ahead and talk about the Clippers. I don't want to hear nobody complaining about nothing. All right, I don't want to hear y'all talking about, oh man, you hyping up Kawhi and all of that. First, y'all be complaining I'll be talking about LeBron too much. Now I'm talking about this. Please let me live, son. Let me live. So let's get into this. So yesterday there was a mega game that went down between the Golden State Warriors and the Clippers. It was one of the few games this season where I really was like emotionally invested to it, to the point where I was like, when the Clippers missed the shot, I'm like, damn. When the Warriors made a shot, I'm like, oh my God, like it was one of those things, right? And I try not to do that because sports, man, sports can have you in there breaking stuff in your house and all that kind of stuff, right? But it was a very close game, nip and tuck. But ultimately, the Clippers were able to come away victorious with a 124-119 victory. James Harden was a man possessed. He had 36 points. No, was it 36 or 39 points? I think 10 assists or something like that. Kawhi had 33 points in the game. He shot over 60% from the field, which is crazy stuff. Ivica Zubac had a double-double with 17 rebounds. It was crazy stuff, right? Very, very important game. And with that game, the Clippers now punched their ticket to the 5th seed to ensure that they play against the 4th seed and the Denver Nuggets in round 1. And they're going to be starting that series off on the road. But prior to that, one of the biggest critics of Kawhi Leonard for the last few years has been none other than Stephen A. Smith, right? Stephen A. Smith has not hid his feelings about Kawhi, and he has gone off on him at every opportunity that he has had. Not just before this game, but after the last few games that the Clippers have been playing, Stephen A. Smith has been taking notice. And after they won that game against the Golden State Warriors, he was forced to come on TV and finally give Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers some damn respect. So this is the sound that we want to get into. But before we even get into what Smith had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60-plus states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm really looking forward to game 1 between the Clippers and the Nuggets in round 1. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for up front. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Stephen A. Smith had to say here to Marcus Morris Sr., and then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith on ESPN First Take today. Take a listen to that.
That damn Kawhi Leonard looks special right now. He's looking special right now.
It's time to put some respect in his name, baby.
I can't. Let me tell you this. I'm never gonna go for anybody accusing me of disrespecting his name, because the brother can ball. My issue was his availability, not what he did when he was available. We all know what the brother can do. But having said that, to miss the first 34 games of the season, to come out and play since March, over the last 21 games. The Clippers are 18-3, with the number 1 offense in basketball when Kawhi Leonard is on the basketball court. And then the brother's averaging 25.7 on 52% shooting, 43% from three-point range, and just balling. I mean, I'm looking at him last night, making steals, going the length of the court, jumping. I'm like this. He dunked, he came down like, is he hurt? Is he hurt? Is he going to be all right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, he running that back down on the court. He looked pretty damn good. And I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, ooh, this is going to get very interesting, because here's what it comes down to. With Kawhi Leonard healthy, Kawhi Leonard can carry the Los Angeles Clippers to the conference finals. He can do that. We can't dismiss. Listen, they can talk Zubac all they want to. He's about to. I appreciate what we've been seeing from him. It's about to come to an end. Now you're going up against the Joker. You can wrap that up. All that stuff you've been doing numbers wise, it ain't gonna be nothing ain't gonna be anything compared to his numbers, okay? But Kawhi and James Harden could deliver the goods in a series against Denver. And this Kawhi Leonard that I'm looking at right now, if that brother with this James Harden that I've been seeing, man, it's getting interesting. Clippers could go to the conference finals, if not the finals, with this brother. Kawhi looks special right now. I gotta give you credit.
Listen, 9-1 going into the playoffs, playing as good as Kawhi's playing, and the best thing about it is that him and James Harden tag team is a scary sight. Having two dynamic Hall of Fame guards going into the playoffs, playing as well as they are, is going to be something to watch. And, go back to your point with Zubac and Jokic. Listen, Zubac has been playing really well. He will challenge Jokic defensively, and it will be a little toll on him. And it'd be interesting to see how tired and how much he can get Jokic to actually defend, right? And, listen, David Alderman going into his first playoff series against arguably one of the best coaches in the NBA. I don't know if Denver's ready for that, right? Because you have to speak on it. Like, I feel like Denver is in a position where it's twofold, right? If they lose, we fired our coach early before the playoffs started, right? So now you could put some of the blame on that. Jokic has been under this guy his entire career, 3 MVPs. You brought up a lot of stats. He's number one in a bunch of different categories, right? Now you plug in a guy like David Adelman. How does he adjust on the fly? Like, how does he adjust?
Does it really matter?
Game to game? I think it does. I think it does, because now you have to actually prepare. How are you preparing for James Harden and Kawhi Leonard?
But only thing I'm saying is I don't think Denver has the personnel. I don't think it's about coaching. I don't think they have the personnel, the depth. What I'm talking about. Your start five is your start five if they're healthy enough to be there. That's different. But I don't think they have the depth on a personnel level to compete with the Los Angeles Clippers if Kawhi Leonard and James Harden's there. And let's not forget Norman Powell, because you talk about a brother that I love. I mean, I love that brother. I've always felt he was underrated. This brother, this year. And then let's also not forget the addition of Jeff Van Gundy, how their defense has been tight all year long. So we know the greatness of Ty Lue as a coach in terms of his in-game adjustments. Ty Lue is special, no question.
I'm not.
But when you add Jeff Van Gundy to the mix, you got 2 head coaches there. Jeff Van Gundy is a damn head coach in this league. We all know what he brings to the table. His basketball acumen is not to be challenged, okay? And it's not an accident that they were a top-rated defensive team. But then to have their offense flowing like this, with Kawhi and James Harden and Powell. Listen, I ain't going to go as far as Lethal Weapon 3. This ain't college at Georgia Tech with Kenny Anderson, Brian Oliver, and D3 Dennis Scott. But damn it, you remember those days. It was special.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. He finally had to give Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers some credit. The only thing I didn't understand about Stephen A. Smith over the last few years with his criticism about Kawhi is that for the very reason he would criticize Kawhi Leonard, he wouldn't keep that same energy for other players. He would talk about you can't trust Kawhi Leonard because of his injury-prone behavior, because he's injury-prone. But then he'll be the same one that's always hyping up Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is injury-prone. But that don't be stopping Stephen A. Smith from talking about what he believes Joel Embiid can do in the playoffs at any given moment in time. So I'm like, why is there this double standard? Joel Embiid is always injured, but it never stops you from talking about what you believe he can do. But when it comes to Kawhi, oh man, you can't trust him, and And I'm like, between these two guys, who's the one with a championship here? Is it Joel Embiid or Kawhi? I'm lost here. He would talk about Kawhi like he got something to prove, and Joel Embiid is already a made man. So I never used to understand that. But in terms of him giving credit to Kawhi, look, he has no choice. Okay, he has no choice, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me give you some of Kawhi's stats over the last month and a half. In the month of March, okay, Kawhi Leonard is averaging 25 points a game on 52% shooting, 40% shooting from the three, 82% shooting from the free throw line, averaging 7 rebounds a game, 3 assists, and 1.8 steals with a plus minus of 6.7. Let me tell you what his numbers are in April. Kawhi Leonard, get this, is scoring 26.7 points per game on 54% shooting from the field, 50% shooting from three, 86% shooting from the free throw line, getting you 6 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 2.2 steals with a plus minus, listen to this, with a plus minus of 17.2 in the month of April. His team is 17.2 plus when he's on the floor. And when you look at these numbers, it's going to be very, very hard to criticize a guy like that, because let's just be honest. As he himself said, the number one reason he's been critical of Kawhi Leonard is because he's injury prone. You can't criticize his game because the numbers speak for themselves. Now, I do want to be fair to Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith has been trepidatious in terms of heaping praise and rooting for the Clippers and all of that because of Kawhi Leonard's ability to get injured at any time. I think that's fair. I think all of us at any given moment are holding our breath when Kawhi Leonard goes up for a shot and we're hoping that he lands safely. All of us know that at any given moment in time, anything can happen. Anything. So from that standpoint, I do agree with him. And it's one of the reasons I didn't talk about Kawhi Leonard or the Clippers basically this entire season, because at any point in time, something can go wrong. However, given the fact that he's been playing off the charts, given the fact that he is healthy and he is not injured yet, and I hope he doesn't, knock on wood, you got to give him his props. We can't penalize him for something we think will happen. Instead, let's give him credit for what is happening. I think that's fair. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.